Hello, everyone. For the driver who feels burned out, what I would advise you all to do is to take a moment, take a deep breath, and reflect on what your goal is or your goals are. Because I'm sure you got into being a service to people, maybe doing ride share for 12 hours or doing both apps back to back 24 hours, which I didn't think of doing that at the time. I was doing ride share. Nonetheless, that should give you the discipline to continue to stick with being of service to people and helping them. Now, one thing you can do, let's say you usually do 12 hours, right? Then you can maybe cut back and go down on 6 hours. And then if it gets too extreme where it's just too taxing, maybe take one day off and then you get back at it. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to be consistent and you want to continue to climb up that stairwell of achievement and progress and growth. But you got to remember that the way that you'll be able to reach your goal is by, doing the ride share apps to make money. And any time that you're spent out of the vehicle, then it decreases your chance of reaching your goal. Because take it that in order for you to get there to that point where you feel burned out, that you had to be doing it consecutively for like, let's say 21 days straight in a row. Now, in the context, I would need to know, what else he or she has going on. But nonetheless, if you feel burned out, I'm not going to tell you to quit. Like I said, I would advise you to take a break for a day, 1 to 3 business days, so 1 to 3 days. The reason being, that type of rest should be able to, if you stay still and you really don't have much responsibilities to do on your plate, then that should give you enough time to get your energy back. Let's say you're at home and you're relaxing, you're off your feet, you're not really doing too much of anything, unless say you're just going over your list. This is if you have lists, or you go over your documents, or what your goals are, the plan and the plan of executing. Now you still may be tired, but you will likely get rejuvenated. That after those 3 days, you'll be able to go strong. Because again, the main goal is to get the goal accomplished. And the only way that you can get the goal accomplished is by being consistent. And yes, you're probably burnt out because it kind of feels boring, depending on what type of passengers you get. If you get the passengers that are, they just listen to their music and they're not really up to conversing, that could be boring. But then again, since you're the driver and you're getting them to their destination, how could that be boring when you have to be awake and alert? Now it may be boring due to you not getting the type of funds that you're used to getting, because it varies from ride to ride, state to state, and city to city, and of course time of day. And if that is the reason that you're feeling burnout, my solution from my experience from doing ride share would be to go to the airport. Not only is the airport the safest spot you can go for passengers, they usually tip highly. And they always have clients for you. And they usually have a waiting area, because during that time while you're waiting, you know, you can relax, you can unwind, probably have a snack, some fruit, bottle of water, or whatever your relaxation consists of. And you don't even have to necessarily pick up every ride at the airport that you want. Pick up the ride at the airport that you may not want. You still have the option to decline it. And of course, that comes with its own type of hiccups after a while. But, do what you need to do if you feel burnt out. Now, again, for the driver that feel burnt out, just understand that this is part of the process. When you're putting in those hours, on top of having another 8-hour job, you're going to be burnt out. But listen, that is okay because that's part of the process. I mean, what would the process be if it was just smooth sailings and you didn't get burnt out and you always felt full of energy, full of let's go? Unfortunately, the human body does not work like that. Now, depending on how old you are, you can bounce back quicker. But even the individuals that's 18 years old, they eventually need rest. They will eventually get burnt out. But guess what? You being burnt out is just a reminder that you're staying on task and that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because look at it this way, if you're not burnt out, or if you don't have the illusion of being burnt out, then that could really mean that you're not putting in enough work, you're not putting in enough time. And as you know, if you're putting in enough time, you're going to get what you're supposed to get out of it. And that's the beauty. But yes, I just wanted to bring you all this video today. You all continue to have a great day, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.